They told you to fix yourself, to sand down your edges, to become more palatable, more acceptable, more normal. But what if everything you've been told about your weaknesses was a deliberate deception? What if that exact trait you've been trying to erase, that sensitivity, that overthinking, that quiet intensity, is actually the master key to a form of power you can't even imagine yet? This is not about positive thinking. This is not about self-acceptance. This is about psychological alchemy. The literal transmutation of what you perceive as lead into operational gold. For the next minutes, I will give you the formula. Let me show you the architecture of the deception. Society operates on a simple, brutal, and invisible equation. Deviation from the norm equals defect. But here is the critical question they never want you to ask. Who defined the norm? The answer is a system engineered not for human potential, but for predictability, for control, for manageable, interchangeable parts. Your so-called flaws are not malfunctions. They are signatures of divergence. Nietzsche saw this with terrifying clarity over a century ago. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened. But no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. They labeled you too intense, too analytical, too detached, too sensitive. Each label carries an implicit, unspoken command. Diminish yourself. Apologize for your own voltage. But here is the ontological truth they are missing. Your system isn't broken. It is over-specialized. A Formula One car is flawed for off-road terrain. A submarine is flawed for flight. It is not a design error. It is a design specification operating in the wrong context. You have been judging a fish by its ability to climb a tree, and then internalizing the verdict. Let's begin our first transmutation. The case of the empath. You feel rooms before you enter them. You absorb moods like a sponge. Conflicts don't just upset you, they haunt you for days. The world's prescription is blunt. Grow thicker skin. This is the wrong medicine for the correct diagnosis. Building thicker skin is a defensive move. It creates a prison of numbness. The inversion, the alchemical shift, is not to build walls, but to install intelligent filters. Neurologically, you likely have mirror neuron activity on overdrive. While others scan for surface-level information, you're unconsciously processing emotional data streams. This is not weakness. This is precognitive perception. Consider the historical example of Franz Kafka. His debilitating hypersensitivity to the absurdity of bureaucracy and authority wasn't merely a personal anxiety. It was a hyper-advanced diagnostic instrument. He didn't just feel the oppression of the system. He perceived its blueprint, and in doing so, wrote manuals that predicted the alienating architecture of the entire 20th century. Your sensitivity is not a curse. It is a radar. The problem isn't the radar, it's that no one taught you how to read the screen. Here is your exercise. The next time an emotion overwhelms you, in a meeting, after a conversation, watching a film, perform this 3-layer filter. First, ask, is this mine, or is this an echo? Locate the source. Separate your emotional state from the psychic debris of others. Second, ask, what data does this feeling carry? Convert the emotion into pure information. Anger might signal a boundary violation. Sadness might highlight a deep value. Anxiety might be a simulation of a future you need to prepare for. Third, ask, What would happen if I observed this without reacting? Create a 1-second gap between stimulus and response. In that gap lies your sovereignty. You're not stopping the signal, you're learning to decode it. Your flaw has just become your most sophisticated intelligence-gathering tool. Our second alchemical operation, the overthinker. Your mind runs constant simulations. You see branching futures where others see a straight line. The command from the world is, just act. Stop thinking so much. This is like telling a supercomputer to behave like a calculator. It is a demand for self-lobotomy. Your paralysis by analysis is not paralysis. It is strategic precognition. While others play checkers, you are calculating the chessboard 15 moves ahead. The friction you feel isn't dysfunction. It's the drag coefficient of a mind operating at a higher resolution. Look at the case of Isaac Newton. His flaw was an obsessive, ruminative mind that couldn't let go of a falling apple or the mathematics of celestial motion. He was socially awkward, prone to depression, and notoriously difficult. Was he broken? Or was his cognitive engine simply built for modeling the universe, not for parlor conversation? His overthinking gave us the laws of classical mechanics. Your mind is not a prison, it is a war room. The anxiety you feel is the hum of multiple simulations running concurrently. Your exercise is the simulation funnel. When faced with a decision that triggers your rumination, first, grant yourself 5 minutes of unrestricted simulation. Let every possible outcome, no matter how catastrophic or absurd, play out in your mind. Do not judge, merely observe. Second, apply the filter of impossibility. Use basic logic to eliminate scenarios that violate physical or practical laws. This reduces the noise. Third, identify the 2 most probable trajectories, not 10, 2. Fourth, prepare a pre-move for both. Develop a single action you can take that positions you advantageously for either outcome. By structuring your chaos, you achieve what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. You drain anxiety of its power because you have pre-lived the possibilities. What the world calls overthinking, you now reframe as strategic forecasting. Your flaw has just become your command center. Third transmutation, the loner, the isolated one. Your social battery drains with astonishing speed. Gatherings exhaust you. The demand is, be more outgoing, be more social. This is like telling a sniper to be a shotgun. It misunderstands the fundamental tool. Your need for isolation is not antisocial. It is operational autonomy. Solitude is not emptiness. It is the incubator for signals that are drowned out in the noise of the crowd. Consider Emily Dickinson. She spent nearly 3 decades in semi-reclusive existence in her family's home. Was this a pathology? Or was it the necessary condition, the sterile laboratory, for creating a poetic voice so unique it would revolutionize American literature? Her isolation wasn't a withdrawal from the world. It was a deep dive into a different stratum of it. You are not missing the party. You are conducting reconnaissance from a higher vantage point. Your exercise is the observation protocol at your next unavoidable social gathering. First, select 3 individuals. Do not approach them. Make them your silent subjects. Second, document 1 pattern for each. 1 micro-expression that contradicts their words. 1 repeated word or phrase that reveals a hidden concern. 1 unconscious gesture that signals their true emotional state. Third, deduce their unstated internal narrative. Why are they really here? What are they seeking? What are they hiding? You are no longer a passive, anxious participant. You are an anthropologist. You are a strategist gathering human intelligence. Your silence transforms from a social liability into an advantage of perception. Your flaw has just become your observatory. A fourth, bonus transmutation, the obsessive. You fixate. You cannot let go of a detail, a problem, a perceived imperfection. The world says, be more flexible, let it go. But consider this. The difference between an obsessive fixation and legendary dedication is often just the target. Steve Jobs' obsession with the internal layout of a computer circuit board, a detail no customer would ever see, was deemed irrational. Yet that relentless focus on hidden perfection created a foundational standard. His obsession was not a disorder. It was compressive focus channeled into creation. Your obsessive mind is a laser. The problem isn't the laser, it's that you've been pointing it at your own wounds. The exercise is obsessive redirection. Identify your current loop, the thought or problem that cycles endlessly. Ask, what real-world problem, if solved, would render this loop irrelevant? Then, divert 70% of that obsessive mental energy to solving that external problem. Leave 30% to acknowledge the original loop. You are not breaking the cycle. You are redirecting its torrential energy toward building a dam, generating power. Your flaw has just become your most potent creative engine. The common mechanism in all this is recontextualization. You're not changing the trait, you are changing the frame in which it operates. Darkness is not the absence of light, it is the medium necessary for certain stars to become visible. In one frame, a trait is a defect. In another, it is an evolutionary advantage. Your task is to find or construct the frame where your unique architecture becomes an asset. Here is your 7-day protocol for integration. Days 1 to 2. Diagnosis. Which of these flaws carries the most emotional charge for you? Where do you feel the deepest shame? Days 3 to 4. Reframing. For that chosen trait, brainstorm. In what specific profession, situation, or historical context would this be a superpower? Write it down. Days 5 to 6. Micro-experiment. Create one safe, small scenario to test the reframe trait. If it's sensitivity, use it to gauge a colleague's mood before a meeting. If it's overthinking, use it to plan your weekend with extreme precision. Day 7. Integration. Document what happened, what worked, what felt different. Adjust the frame. You have been operating with the wrong user manual. You were given a guide for a standard issue device, but you are a custom-built instrument. Your factory defects were specialized features all along. The world saw a bug in your code. You now see the hidden developer settings. Comment with one word. Which flaw are you transmuting first? I will respond to the first 100. The diamond is nothing more than carbon that understood the value of its own pressure. Now, understand yours. This is Soma.